Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. We're just going to be trying to tie up this little nymph here. So we'll put a new hook in our vise and put a bead on this. This is a 3.8 millimeter tungsten bead I've got here. For thread, we're going to be using a UTC 140 in rusty brown. I just have to rethread this here. And for the hook, I'm using a firehole jig hook, and the style number on this is 516, the model number. So we'll start by putting base layer of thread on behind the bead. Just going to run that up to the bend of the hook. Trim off that excess. I'm going to take a piece of pheasant tail. I'm just going to take off about, I don't know, maybe 7 fibers here. We'll tie in the tail. Just going to kind of roughly measure that about the length of the hook shank. And we'll tie that down. We'll tie that all the way up just behind the eye. And then we're going to take a piece of wire. We're going to use a piece of chartreuse wire here. It's the ultra wire in small. Tie that in just along the hook shank on the near side. And then we're just going to pull that pheasant tail back, and then we're going to bind that down all the way to the bead here. Then we're going to start wrapping forward this pheasant tail. And you just want to kind of spread it out a little bit. And then the thing I like about pheasant tails, just you get this nice gradual kind of color change from the brown into the blacks, and get a little bit of speckling in there. So bind that down and just trim off the tips. So next we're going to take our wire and we're just going to cross wrap, counter wrap that. So we're wrapping in the opposite direction that we wrap the pheasant. And then when we get to the end here, we'll make sure that we go behind and in front of that wire, just to make sure that it's tied down securely. Then we'll pull it straight up, and under tension we'll just give it a couple wiggles. It should pop off, no problem. So for the collar of this, I'm going to be using a little bit of diamond dub, and this is DD-117. It's sort of a UV olive. It's got a little bit of a bluish tinge to it, but kind of a nice looking color. Very buggy looking. And then we'll go ahead and we're just going to give that a wrap. Try and just kind of cover that hole up a little bit if we can. And bring in our whip finish tool here. Give this fly a couple little whip finishes. That's one we're going to test on the rivers starting next week. Alright. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in, checking it out. Let me know in the comments what you think about the quality of this. If you'd like to see more of fly tying in this format rather than the full production with fly recipes, that sort of thing.